All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Don's Modeling Desk and the continuing adventure of building light boxes. I see Alex in the comments. What's going on, Alex? So, I forgot to ask Jody to produce, and I didn't want to ask him again at the last minute. So, it's just going to be me tonight. So, I'm just going to continue on making light boxes, and I'm making another one like this one right here, that I just kind of built in place. I'm building another one of those for this side. So, and I'm building it the same way I did the last one. I put a piece of tape over the end here, and then I cut around this, and that's what I'm using as the template to cut these end pieces out with. What's going on, Stephen? But there may be a little more blank moments than usual since I forgot to ask Jody to produce. So if I forget to talk every here and there, just forgive me because I do that sometimes. What's going on, Don? I need an intro video for the Orville. Yeah, I do. What's going on, Howard? Yeah, I need to get Todd to make me an intro video for the Orville. I just have my little regular 8-second intro. But I mean, it works. So Howard says, I can blabber, but I can't help produce. That's all good, Howard. All Jody did was talk and read comments. So, what's going on, Trent? There's Jody. Hey, Jody. Yeah, I'm just building more light boxes. I have to get this sanded down to fit on the inside some. Yeah, I forgot to ask you to produce, Jody, and I didn't want to ask you again at last minute, so I guess I'll just fly solo tonight. That's all good. That was my fault. So let's see how well that fits. Back there. Working on your hollow? Oh, your Halloween build. Gotcha. Gotcha. I didn't know what you meant by hollow there for a minute. A little more. Actually, quite a bit more. Where's my scissors? Somewhere around here in this mess that I call a desk. Oh, here they are in the drawer where they belong. Last place I would have looked. Are you going to put an Arduino in it, Howard? Howard says he's working on his Halloween build and he wants to light it and add sound if he can. I haven't got around to adding sound to anything yet. That's a whole nother programming trick. I'm sure Todd could help you out with it. And Trent says he's working on the Puma. Sweet. Howard says, starting another Roker kit. I got my Scorpion build done like the one Todd had. Oh, nice. That Scorpion was cool. And so was the Manta Ray. Manta Ray was really cool. Did you get the Manta Ray too, Howard? Oh, you're wanting to solder some SMDs too, huh? It's not really that hard once you get the hang of it. That should work. Now I need to cut the piece to go from here to here. Yeah, soldering SMDs is not as hard as everybody makes it sound like. Jody says, got to go for a short drive. Well, be careful, Jody. Let's see. Where's my little, there's my little ruler. Yours has USB-C issues? What has USB-C issues? Howard says, but mine has USB-C issues, so be leery of it. And yes, got the Manta Ray too, but this is the one we all drooled over. What has USB issues, Howard? The Roker kit that you're working on? I didn't know Roker kits had USB-C. I mean, I know some of them are powered by USB, but you're just having USB-C power issues. What's going on, Tommy? Howard says the Scorpion, when I plug it into the base, has a very bad connection. And the problem with it is I can't put the other piece of plastic on it, so I have to leave it off. So when you put the other piece of plastic on it, it puts pressure on the cable or something. And then he said, so the base is either the plug for the base is not high enough, it needs to be adjusted. But it ain't adjusted correctly. So I'm just not going to try to tear it all apart because it's already pre-built. Oh, it's like a little pre-built part. Gotcha. Gotcha. So now, let's see. Oh, I cut that about the right width. Now I just need to solder up some blue SMDs. I actually need it a little wider, don't I? No, I don't. I'll just put this right there. I need to solder up 6 blue SMDs. Little piece of LED tape. And get out the Omnifixo. I do like this little Omnifixo. I like it a lot. Howard said, just sent you something to look at. They were smooth writing on the stones, and I boogered them up with notches and scrapes of graffiti. Well, let's see what Howard. Oh, that looks good, Howard. I like that, Howard. That's hilarious. Trent says, I need one of those. I have the Omni Succo. This thing works great. Oh, Todd and Ian were talking about it all the time about how good it was, and I personally was happy with my little soldering tweezers that I had. Didn't really think the Omnifixo would make that much difference, but yeah, I was wrong. I was way wrong. This thing is nice. And thank you, Howard, for the Omnifixo. Howard sent one to me, Jody, um, Alec, I think, and Andrew. And once I finally tried it, yeah, it's nice. What makes it nice is these little, instead of having like a a spring arm or whatever, like the little cheap ones do, these have a little magnetic base with a divot in it, and then this has a ball on it, and it just sticks to it. So that means you can literally put it anywhere, and it just stays there. There's no spring to it. There's no movement to it. It just, wherever you put it, it just stays. Yes, and Howard said, well, send me your address, Trent, and I'll get you one for Christmas. Yeah, I like the tombstone. Tombstone's cool. And Alex says he agrees. He loves his Omnifixo that Howard sent him. And Don says, yes, the Omni Succo is great for circuits, but not for heavy things. Needed my helping hands again to solder part. Yeah, they're not going to hold up anything really heavy, but for soldering lights and stuff like that, they're great. And Howard said Keith uses it to do his boat stuff too. Yeah, he uses it on the photo etch a lot. And then Trent says, you are too generous, Howard. Yes, he is. He really is. Now, let's get these wires stripped so I can get them soldered on. We can throw them in place and then throw the light box in. Alex says, can my new schedule be posted yet? I have very little to do during my days off. Your new schedule for what? For work? Are you talking about your new schedule for work, Alex? I would assume working at theater that you're going to be working mostly nights, except on the weekend, maybe, or evenings anyway. You saw what happened yesterday in Michigan? No, what happened yesterday in Michigan, Howard? I have no idea. Alex says, and yes, I know I could use this time to do my Star Trek homework. Yes, you could, Alex. And yes, okay, so you're talking about your work schedule. What happened in Michigan yesterday, Howard? I have no idea. I don't watch a whole lot of news, and I don't spend that much time on social media either, except Discord, YouTube. Every once in a blue moon, I'll get on Facebook, but not that much. I guess Trent saw what happened. I have no idea. Trent said, yes, very sad. People are effed up. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't see it. Oh, a church shooting. Wow. No, I hadn't heard about that. It might help the soldering gun heat up if I turn it on. Think that would help? I think it would. Yeah, it's almost time for me to buy a new roll of solder. I didn't prepare any trivia like Jody usually does. Dadgummit. Knock something down, and I go to put that up, and knock something else down, and I go to put that up, and knock something else down. Jeez. Yes, the soldering does work better with heat, Don. About 550 degrees worth of heat. There we go. At least that's what I solder at anyway. I think Todd solders at like 700 degrees. But I've always had good luck at 550. I know you would need more heat if you were soldering something larger. I'm just soldering little wires to LED tape, so 550 is perfectly fine. And this is what I love about the OmniFixo. Once you get the wire positioned where you want it, it just stays there. It's not like the old helping hands. When you let go of it, it springs back about 1/8 of an inch. And Howard says, "Oh, you have that issue too, huh? Knock stuff that's perfectly flat over?" Yep, yep, yep. Many times. Jody says, "Cool. By the time I went to get a coffee, my first coat of primer was dry. That's good." Alex says, "Also, guys, can it be Wednesday yet?" Yep, knew that question was coming. Got no more I can actively do on Constitution, so I'll return to the longboat Wednesday. And Don says, "You learn to use whatever heat you set it for." That is true. That is true. And Jody said, "No, no Wednesday yet. Next." And then Alex said, "And Jody, did you get your coffee the way I was yesterday during the stream?" I don't know what you mean. And Howard says, "I tried doing the MacGyver with a car battery, jumper cables, and a nickel. Oof." I bet that was a shocking experience, right, Howard? There it is. I lost my little copper spongy thing to clean the soldering iron with. I'm going to turn that off because I shouldn't need to solder anymore. They working on window light boxes next, and I already have some white LED tape soldered up, so I won't need any for that. Let's give this a test and see if she works, just in case. Just in case. Although usually when I pre-tin stuff, I don't usually get a cold solder joint. Turn on the power, and voila, we have light. We have a delight. Nice. So let's unhook that, and then we'll get it into position. Well, I said we would. I gotta get this tape off first. There we go. Howard said, "You never welded like that?" Nope. I've never tried welding with battery cables and a nickel. And Alex said, "I went to a place called Bikini Beans or something similar and had a delicious 32-ounce caramel latte. It's very similar to Hooters." Oh, so it's a Hooters coffee place. Okay. That works, I guess. Yeah. Let's get this light in place. And then we'll get some glue on it. Because I don't trust these little sticky tape things. I mean, they work, but I don't trust them to permanently hold the light in place. Now, I need to move that a little bit. Maybe not. Does that show? Just a little it shows. I need to move that a hair. Well, that sticky tape is definitely stuck. That's for sure. Here we go. I don't think that'll show. Nope. Not even a little bit. So let's get some glue on that. And something to put some glue on. We'll use this hair piece of tape. That should be a perfectly good super glue holder. Let's see, we got some more chat here. Jody says, "I drink coffee flavored coffee." And Trent said, "Earth girls are easy, Alec." And Alex says he'll be right back. His girlfriend just got home and he's going to watch Jurassic Park with her in a call. And Alex says, "And I'm human from Earth, Trent." Well, it's 8:30 now, Alex. So if you're going to watch Jurassic Park before you come back, I probably won't be here when you get back. Get that the toothpick, the wooden super glue application tool. Let's get this here Omnifixo out of the way before it gets super glued. Howard says, "Bought some iced coffee powder from the Dollar Tree and it's not too bad. I just never got the taste for coffee." And Trent says, "Prove it, Alec." And Don says, "Get him, Trent." Get some super glue on there. That should hold it in place. 3 good little super glue dollops. That should hold it. Let's put one on the end too, just to be safe. Put some super glue. Oh, I got my wire in the super glue. It'll be stuck to the desk in a minute. But that's normal operating procedure around here. Glue everything except what's supposed to be glued. That's what happens sometimes. Howard says, her ass I see parked on my lap. And then Alex says, LOL, I guess I'll just have to meet you all at Wonderfest and prove I'm human. Hey, you could be in disguise, man. That doesn't prove you're human. That would just prove you have a good disguise. Alex says, I'm human, Don. And then Howard said, you won't see me. And then Don said, good. You and Ian will get along great. They do both talk about the same amount. I will admit that. They both love to talk. All right, so let's get this put together. Actually, I need to paint first. I need to glue this onto here. I guess I should get the glue out. How about that? Let's get this super glue tape out of the way before my hand ends up in it. Alex says, are you going to be wearing a Predator's cloaking suit, Howard? Howard said, no, I'll be at my house. You need to get to Wonderfest sometime, Howard. You would definitely enjoy it. Wonderfest is a blast. Let that dry for a minute. Wonder where Buck is tonight. I haven't seen Buck in the comments. I saw Howard say something about Buck, but I haven't seen Buck in the comments. Maybe he's busy playing Assassin's Creed. I haven't had time to play any video games lately. Well, not lately. I haven't had time to play any video games in a while. Trent says upper suspension and brake line done. Cool. Alex says, oh, you would have been nice to meet you, bud. Trent says, come on, Howard, I'll drive. Howard said, have it in the winter, maybe I could, but that's planting time. I hear you, man. And then Howard says, Bucky, buck. And Alex says, I suppose that makes sense, Howard. Yeah, that's probably one of Howard's busiest times. I would think so anyway. And Jody says Donnie's getting out the digital tablet paint. Or the iPad, as Buck calls it. I like this little wet palette though, because it keeps the paint from drying out. Acrylic paint anyway. Don't think it would work too nicely with anything else. I need more paint. And Howard says, besides, I might be indisposed with the woman in my arms too. Hell, bring her too, Howard. Buck's bringing Andrea next year. And Jody says, likey like, don't neglect the button. And then Don says, done first. Done what? Click the like button. And then Alex says, buck, 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 buck. Oh, excuse me, guys. There, I said it 3 times to make sure it actually shows. Since if it's only twice, he returns home. Beetlejuice rules, if I'm not mistaken. Jody said, that's 9 times. And Howard said, yeah, but she's got college to attend and she might be too culture shocked yet. And Alex says, Jody, please don't lick the button this time. Howard said, bless you. Thank you, Howard. Get a good coat of white paint on here. Where's my jar? Howard says, why, Alec? I teabagged it. Howard. Oh, and then Jody said, tasty. Howard said, I was the first like. And then he said, pink eye. And then Alex says, lol, was that before or after Jody licked it? And then Jody said, bad comment placement for me there. And then Don said, I see your work allergies kicking in. You need to take care of that. I do. I wish I could. I wish I could. Someday I'll get to join the ranks of you retired fellas. I think I might have to put a second coat on that. Just to make sure it has a good reflective surface. Get the light bouncing around in there real good. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to bounce as much light around in there as I can. Alex says, I wish I could join the retirement table. Alex, you got a long way to go, dude. A long way to go. Howard says, my mom had coworkers retired, and 2 months later they were dead. Yeah, that's not good, man. That's not good at all. Don says, oh, wait. Jody said, take 2 Cardassian shuttles. You won't have to go to work tomorrow, right? And then Don said, well, Buck and I are doing fine doing nothing. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it sounds nice. And then Alex said, why would he eat a shovel? And then Howard said, why are you not married, Don? And Jody said, it will allow him to miss work. And then Howard said, not necessarily, Donnie. He could be like Mark Zuckerberg and retire at 30 or so. Well, Mark Zuckerberg's got one thing that Jody don't got, though. Lots of zeros in his bank account. We all wish we had that. I know I sure wish I had enough zeros in my bank account to retire at 30. Alex said, by having warp cores overloading in his stomach. Jody's talking about these little Cardassian shuttles that I printed for him. They do kind of look like pills. But let's get some glue on here and get this in place. And Jody said, because the shuttles are pill-shaped and pointy. Yes, they are. Don said, you would have to have a brilliant idea and be innovative. Consider the source, right? I wish I was innovative enough to have Mark Zuckerberg's bank account. But I'm not. So I work at Nissan. Okay, get the wires out of the way. Slide this down in there. And voila. Slide it into place. Lock it down with some kicker. Might put a little extra up here, extra glue up here on the end. Then all we got to do is get the end piece in. There we go. This thing is going to be full of light boxes. Alex said, "Hey, I'm smart, Don, and I need a coffee." Now, where did I put my other little piece? There it is. Yeah, we need to get this piece to fit right in here. See how much we need to trim it down. Not a whole lot, actually. I think if I take a little bit off this side, it should fit right in there. Hopefully, anyway. We'll find out in a minute. Now let's try it. Well, if I can quit dropping it. Oh, that fits nice. It fits real nice. So let's get some Tamiya on the end of this. Put this in place, and then we'll put some super glue on it to glue it to the body of the ship. That fell over. Maybe I need more Tamiya. Oh, Todd's here. What's up, Todd? Everybody's saying hi to Todd. Howard said, "It's a Yeti. Run." Yeah, I didn't get enough Tamiya on there. Let's just super glue it. Everybody else saying hi to Todd. Did I put that in backwards? Yeah, I did. The curved side goes this way. That works. Right there. Now, if the super glue will come out of the bottle, Let's get some kicker on there. Is your favorite stuff, Todd? Super glue kicker. Don said, well, at least Todd survived Ian. And then Howard said, because I want to maybe have them flicker. Did I miss a comment? No? And then Andrew's here. What's up, Andrew? And Todd said, ooh, that's gross, referring to the super glue kicker. Wait. Here you go, Todd.
That's gross. That's gross.
Must be on repeat. It is. Turn that off. Don't see it, Howard. Talked about Todd being Yeti. And then the next thing you said was because I want to maybe have them flicker. Let me look on YouTube. Yeah, it's not showing on YouTube either, Howard. Oh, you asked right before that. Okay. There's the Yeti. Ellie Todd. The next comment up from that is the one about Alec retiring like Mark Zuckerberg. And then the one before that is you asking Don why he's not married. Yeah, I don't see it, Howard. I don't know why YouTube does that crap sometimes. You working on your 2 enterprises, Andrew? I'm assuming that you are. Let's see how this one turned out. And I'll let the wires touch together. That was smart. Uh-oh. I made a tactical error. I'll have to fix that later. The blue's coming out those windows. Yep, I got it over the windows a little bit. Oh well, that can be fixed. But that looks pretty darn good, I think. Yeah, I'll have to make an adjustment to that light box later. That's not a big deal though. That one looks good. Now, I need to make window light boxes. Let's see. Alex says, I wonder if someone on April 1st will mail Todd a box soaked with an empty bottle of Zip Kicker. Oh, that would be just wrong. And then Howard said, hey, YouTube, you suck. And Don said, YouTube hates Howard too. And Andrew says, just about to put an hour or so in tonight. That's good. And Howard says, send a screenshot of my question in DM. Okay, I'll check that. Howard said, so Donnie, what would look better, green SMDs behind the tombstone or red? Since I'm going to try to put red lights in the eyeballs and haven't decided whether I want to make it one SMD in his head or two. So I want to maybe have them flicker. Oh, so it was just right before that comment. Yeah. Yeah, it's not there. I mean, it depends on what you're going for. If you just want like a ghostly glow, I would go with green. If you're trying to make it look, you know, menacing and evil, then go with red. That is so weird because over here in the comments, yeah, there's the one where you said you wanted to. It's not there because in your picture in Discord, yeah, 2 comments in a row. That is so weird. I don't know why YouTube does that crap. And Alex says, I hope the service was beautiful during the wedding you went to, Andrew. And Howard says, maybe the words SMDs to the head. I don't know. It didn't block that one. And then Alex says, so Donnie, it's better to light first, mask, and then prime and paint. I always light first because most of the time you have to put the lights in before you can put the model together. So, like getting all that in there's no way you could do that after you put the model together. So, there's no way to paint first and then light unless you're going to paint each piece individually. Jody says, second coat done. Good, good. And then Howard says, yeah, what makes that flag just bad? I don't think that's what did it, though, Jody, because you just said it in the other comment. Don says, your name, Howard. It hates you. And then Alex says, it's actually a good question, Howard. And Howard says, yeah, but they sure like to take my money. They like to take everybody's money, Howard. Alex says, hey, I'm in first place. And then Don says, get him, Howard. Howard can't do that on my stream, Don, because I'm not monetized. I don't get nearly as much modeling stuff done when I'm reading the comments myself. Where are... Oh, I see. It's these two wires. This one came out of the bundle. Yep, I pretty much did the same thing on this side and didn't even realize it. Well, crap. I guess I'm going to be redoing both of those light boxes because I ended up getting blue light coming out of those too, but not as bad. Oh, man. That sucks. I said Howard couldn't super chat to bump Alec out of first place, and Alex said, and then Don said, well, let's all get him. And then Howard said, oh, just wait, I'll get him. I'll send him more weird alien things, more things for him to, and then Don said, more things for him to relate to. And then Howard said, oh, I see now, the race is on. Don and I are on Alex's ass. Alex said, oh, why do I have a feeling that one of them is an alien abduction logo? Is that alien abduction Lego set you posted in the Discord? And I'm human, guys. Don said, sure. And then Alex said, looks up to the sky and shouts, Don, you stole first from me. Don said, another one bites the dust. I take it Don got first place now? There you go, Don. That's too good. I know Howard doesn't like it when we argue over the numbers in the chat, but I kind of enjoy it. So I guess I'm going to be rejiggering this here light box. I wonder if I have to take it all the way out or if I can just coerce it. I'll use this and see if I can push it over. Look, Don, wood. There we go. I just need to get some glue on it and hold it there. Put my tape up with the glue on it. Oh, a lot of chat going on, but I'll get to it in a minute. I want to get this took care of. Now, can I even reach in there to put this super glue on there? I need a super long toothpick. To be able to reach in there. Now, let's see if we can squirt some kicker in there. It's super glue way down there. I don't know how I'm going to reach that. Very carefully. Yeah, Jody, I'll get to the chat in a minute. Trying to get this thing glued where it's not over the window anymore. There we go. I got it. Oh, what's that? Little piece of paint. Daggone it. Maybe that'll be okay. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Howard said, see, you got cocky and look what happened. Don said, there is a guide. And Alex said, lol, let's temporary setback. I'll steal it back. And Don said, maybe it'll shut the kid up. And then Alex said, and Howard stole second. And Howard said, it depends on who it is, Donnie. Don said, old guys rule, and wood is good. Howard said, Up 5, Don? I don't know what that means. And then Alex said, oh, come on. Why are my cats such messy eaters? I just keep stepping on their dry food they knock out of their food dishes. Hey, my dog does the same thing. And then Jody said, chat. Alex said, also, I was trying to mimic Kirk shouting at Khan. I don't think that's how you spell Khan. It's Kahn. And then Alex said, Jody, do you not know what chat is, bud? And Jody said, chat. And then Alex said, chat. And Jody said, chat is chat. And then Alex said, chat, chat, chatty, chat, chat. Oh, man, Jody. Why? You made me lose my number, bud. And then Howard said, no one important is cheating. Just a bunch of old dudes and one alien. Don said, get him, Jody. Jody said, chat. Don said, chat while chatting. And then Howard said, as Indiana Jones said, don't get cocky, kid. And then Alex said, wasn't that Hun? Hon? Actually, I believe both characters said something similar. And then Don said, I think Howard should send him a shock collar. Alex said, I don't think I need one. Of course, you don't think you need one. I tried the shock collar on Red, the first pit bull we had, because I had no problem training him to do anything I wanted him to, except stay out of the garbage. I could not get him to stay out of the garbage can. And I was talking to my neighbor about it one day, and he was talking about a shock collar that he used to train his dog. And he went in the house and got it and brought it out, put it on Red, and he said, he's a pretty big dog. You have to turn it up about halfway. So I turned it up about halfway, nothing. Turned it up about 3/4 of the way, nothing. I turned it up all the way, and Red just kind of looked at me like, what? So I don't think that would have worked. Oh, Alex said Han, not Hun. There we go. Now we got the blue light there and no blue light there. That's much better. Much, much better. I might try to. Now I can put a little black paint on that super glue bead to block the last little bit of blue light out. Then I can start building the light box for that window. Alex says, we have a problem with Rocky, our middle child of our 3 current dogs, wanting to go into the middle landing and eating the cat's treat. Yeah, if you have cat food out, man, a dog's going to eat it. I mean, you know, food's food, right? Dogs don't care if that food's meant for the cat. It's food. When we had Snowy, and we used to have 2 cats, Snowy and Tabby, at the same time we had Red, and we would have to put their food up high enough that Red couldn't get it, or he'd just eat all the cat food. I mean, a dog just looks at it like, oh, look, you put me a food bowl here too? Thank you. They don't realize the food is meant for the for the cat. They just know you put food there. And if food is there, they're going to eat it. And it's probably the same problem with keeping them out of the garbage because they smell food in there and they want to eat it. Jody said, now that I have effortlessly took the #1 chat crown, I shall go to the underground parking lot and check my paint. That's good, Jody. Oh, that's good. He just showed up and said, chat, 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 chat. Oh, look, I'm #1. Oh. Don said, to the paint booth. And then Alex said, took a while, but I now have a clear path to my computer and work desk. I have a bad habit of tossing my water bottles over my shoulder when I finish them and forget to toss them away properly later. Jody said, behind my car. Howard said, better than the other one. The other what? Now that we have repaired that, I'll have to repair the other one later. I think I'm gonna call it about 9:30 tonight. I'm getting tired. We're back on 9.5 hours, and that sucks. I wonder if I could build one big light box right there. That would probably work. Where did I put my sheet? Oh, I'll put it over here. It's about that wide. Don said, sounds like another Don move. That work crap gets in the way. Yeah, it does. Howard said, the building has commenced of this new broker kit. I think he meant Roker kit, and it's barely new. We'll give updates later tonight, and maybe you'll figure it out. Okay, cool. Keep us updated. We'll keep guessing, Howard. Let's see if that's wide enough. Not wide enough. I'm hitting the other light box. That just might work with just that one piece of styrene. Now all we have to do is build a little white box for those windows on top. Let's pop a couple LED strips in there, and then we'll see how good that works. First, I need to paint it white, but we can do that in a minute. In a moment. I hate trying to get this tape off. I will say though, this LED strip has about the stickiest tape I've ever seen on one of these LED strips. Slide that back there. Needs to be stuck right there. That's good. You need one over here. Where'd I put the other one? Did I get another one? Maybe not. Let's see. And Alex says, you're talking about me having a massive pile of packaging and water bottles blocking my path, Don? I don't know what he's talking about. I'm talking about Don's last comments. He's talking about me talking about dropping out a little early because having to work 10 hours, 9.5, close enough. But we seem to always go on overtime about this time of year. I might put that one on here and see how it works. And then slide that right in there. Oh, it needs to be up there. Smooth thinking there, bud. Don said he likes to babble. Alec, you mean? Yes, he does. Alex said, lol. Dang it. Still not far enough. Let's go with right there. I have to admit, this is a pretty good tape. I peeled it off like 3 times and it still sticks. There we go. That works. Now let's hook these up. See how this works before I trim it and glue it in place. These two and these two. Yes. Sorry, I got quiet again. Howard said, oops, another booster blew up this time. It was Firefly for 7th test flight. I wonder if that was one of the reused ones or if that was another new one. The booster that blew up, I mean. Because they used a reused one on their last flight, I think, or the flight before. And oh, that'll look real good once I get it painted white on the inside, I think. Get it painted white so it'll bounce the light around. I think that'll work pretty good. Yeah. I think that'll work good. I need to get that black. And my LED fell out. And then I dropped the other LED. I am still dropping everything. Howard said, no, the booster that blew up was from the company Firefly. It was on their test stand in Briggs, Texas. This is not SpaceX. Oh, okay. Firefly. Cool. I don't know anything about them. I used to keep up with all that on TV all the time. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. It's a little bit of black paint down in the top corner of that window there. I can't seem to get it off. Maybe if I do it this way. Oh. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing because I'm holding it up to the light, but I'm trying to trim this little bit of black paint out. And I can't seem to get it all the way out of the window for some reason. For some reason. It's mostly out of the window. Now watch this. I'll use this toothpick to try and get it out of the window and end up with a broken off toothpick in the window. There we go. That did it. But I think I'm going to call it here. Let's see. Don says it's the black paint NATO black. No, it's just black. Don said, oh, yeah, there's about 15 different companies. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of different companies. I just don't keep up with all of it. He said SpaceX, Firefly ULA, Ariane, Astrolabs, Rocket Labs, and a bunch of others. I think it's, myself anyway, I think it's kind of cool that all of this has kind of become privatized because it gives so much more opportunity for different innovations. You know, when you had just NASA doing it, it was whatever NASA came up with, and that was it. You know what I mean? But now that we've got 15 different companies doing it, you've got 15 different ideas being worked on at once, 15 different ways to do it, all being figured out all at one time. And I just kind of think that's cool. I think some cool shit's going to come out of it eventually. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'll finish up this light box sometime this week if I have time. And if not, we'll finish it up next week. But thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I think everybody in here has already liked and subscribed. But I appreciate it. Let's see. Tomorrow night we got Buck working on the jail wagon, I think. And then Wednesday night we got Keith working on Jack Sparrow's ship. And then right after Keith will be Buck. Will be Buck. That's tomorrow night. That's Tuesday night. Keith is Tuesday night before Buck. And then Wednesday night we'll have the Woody stream. And then Thursday night will be Jordan working on the DS9. Friday night will be our regular Friday night stream. And then Saturday night, I think will probably be Andrew this week. I don't think he's got plans this week. And then Sunday will be the Sunday stream. And then back to me. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Cameron. Yeah, I figured that out, Howard. And Wednesday is Woody Wednesday. Yeah, I said that, didn't I? Yes, Howard. Donnie needs sleep. I do. But thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. And see y'all tomorrow night on Keith's stream and Buck's stream in the comments. So let me get over here to the media assets. So everyone have a good one. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you later.